So what I've done is I've cut 3 blanks of 6mm plywood and going to laminate them together with another piece on top, which will be an extra support where the mast goes. So I'm going to glue them all together and then prop up the ends, plenty of clamps, and see if I can get a decent curve on it. The moment of truth. Will it spring back flat? Will it fall to bits? Or have I actually managed to glue it together? Well, it's got a curve in it. I'm quite pleased with that. So this is what I've set out to achieve, and I think that works pretty well actually. So I just need to trim it down so it's the right fit, and obviously cut where the mast step will actually be. I'm going to leave it open at the back and just have a rope to secure it in place. That way I can drop the mast really quickly to go under bridges. So that's it. The next job is to measure this up and cut it down so that it sits nicely. Then I'll need to make some kind of support that goes underneath, I think. So this is the arrangement for the mast step. Piece of wood with a little plywood disc, piece of aluminium pipe epoxied onto it, so that'll form the mast step, and then up above will be my curved piece with a cutout. Then the mast will go down through here, drop into the step and be secured with a bit of rope around here onto a cleat. That way when I come to a bridge I can just uncleat it here, lift it up slightly, tilt the whole mast back, and that should be really easy to do in a small boat, I hope. The mast support in place now, glued in with epoxy. I was thinking about putting some braces underneath, but to be honest it's really quite solid, so I'm quite happy with that. The mast step is glued together. Now the thing about this, I'm not going to put it in place, which should be around about this hole somewhere, and there I should imagine, but I'm not going to fix it in place until the whole boat is done and I can actually get it outside, sit on some level ground get the mast in and actually take a few paces back so I can really see and make sure that it's completely upright and not hanging off to one side, tilted too far forward or too far back. And then I'll just simply put a load of glue underneath and 4 screws. Put that in place. I can't do it in here because there's no room to move, and I really do need to take a step back to have a look. With all the wood varnished and looking pretty good, it's now time to get some paint on the inside. This is just a sort of a mix-up of all the odds and ends I had hanging around, which sort of came out as a rather fetching light blue. And it makes an awful lot of difference. Suddenly it's looking smart. So the job for this afternoon is to stick all this woodwork back on, which I'm going to do with the original brass screws, and I'm going to seat them, bed them in with a bit of the Hippo sealant adhesive, which is pretty good for pretty much everything. That's all the woodwork screwed on now, and actually it doesn't look too shabby at all. Really pleased I took the time to do the gunnels like I did and to stain them dark before varnish them. Just makes it all look a bit nicer, I think. Yeah, quite pleased with that. Right, so where are we at? We are nearly at the end actually. What have I been up to? I've painted the hull. I wasn't originally going to paint it, but I've discovered a tin of international Oxford blue paint that I somehow inherited when I bought the narrowboat, so I thought I'd stick that on. I just gave it a quick sand down and slapped a bit of that on. I have now fitted the centre board in. It was a bit of a job getting it all to line up, but that's in there now. What I need to do is get some kind of bungee strap or something so I can actually hold it in the fully up position. That's in there, and I've sealed up the bolts nicely with plenty of goo. I put the light. I put the mast step in, and I put a couple of cleats, one on the front and one to hold the mast upright. I've just got to finish off this sort of bumper thing at the front of finishing the varnish, but that's still to do. Apart from that, it's just about done, and I will now see what it looks like with the mast up. So there's the Optimus rig. Not huge, but that'll be absolutely adequate for pushing this little boat along, I'm sure. Some pretty nice relaxing sailing. The great thing about it, of course, is it takes about 30 seconds to step the mast and rig it, so you know, that's what it's all about for this boat. I've just used this little bit of thin line for a main sheet at the moment. I've ordered some 10mm sheet which will be a bit kinder on the hands. but I just wanted to see how it looks really. I'll also get some slightly thicker line for the mast securing piece here. I'll need to wrap some tape or something around the mast as well, because there's a little bit of a sloppy fit there, so I need to pack that out. I'll just wrap some tape around the mast. And that's about it. So the only things really to do is just finish off the front. A couple of little fittings. Oh, I've ordered some cheap plastic rowlocks to go on there, so I can row it should I need to. And the other thing is just to sort the trailer out. It doesn't really sit on this trailer very well, but I shall have to sort of make do. It's so light I'm not really going to bother too much, but it actually, I don't know if you can see, it actually stands clear of the trailer at the back there, which is probably not quite right, but it sits on the sort of the angle bits. Not too bad. So I'm just going to quickly squirt some grease in the bearings, pump the tyres up, but that should be okay. So I'm looking at a possible launch next week with a bit of luck. Now the overall brief for the boat was to get something that I could put on top of the car, or alternatively keep on top of the narrowboat, but this has proved to be far too heavy for me to do that with especially with my back as it is. But it seems to sit reasonably well on the trailer, and I'll still be able to get to the water, rig it, get in the water in a matter of minutes. So it should be just about fit for purpose. Can't wait for next week now.